Hey, follow us on YouTube.
Two dudes watch cartoons. Two dudes watch cartoons. Two dudes watch cartoons. Two dudes watch cartoons. Yeah.
Welcome back to Two Dudes Watch Cartoons, the podcast where two dudes, that is us, watch cartoons. My name is Evan.
And my name is Alex, and thank you for joining us post episode 100. We're in a new era. We're covering new things, all exciting. Just kidding. We're doing the same old shit we used to do.
Shit. Yeah.
Back at it again. And we're here with our great friend and four-time guest now, since I checked my math just before we got here. Please welcome Courtney Jessup back. Courtney, how are you doing?
Good, how are
That's
you?
right.
Thank you for having me back.
No, we were excited. I think we actually asked you back before we even knew what we were going to cover. We're like, do you want to come? And we're like, we had decided. We're like, we'd like Courtney to come. What do you want to
Peer
cover?
pressured you.
Yeah, and so today we are covering the new Disney Plus, semi-new Disney Plus show, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And oh boy, am I excited to talk about this one. Evan, you had something, I think.
I mean, since you've last been on, Courtney, one, I was excited to have you on because you have been traveling all around the world, Japan, all over Europe. I saw some Pokemon stuff in there in the Instagram stories, so I wanted to ask about that. But also, Alex, you, since our last episode, are now married, so congratulations.
That's right. Thank you. Here's the proof.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
The
with
ring.
proof. Oh, yeah.
The bling.
But this is the daily reminder to go watch the YouTube. And no, thank you. Yeah, it was great. Evan was there. Evan and his wife Haley, and they even got to bring their child. And Haley's parents made a whole trip out of it. It was very lovely. It was great. It was exciting. That's kind of why we've been on this slowdown. It has been a very busy time, but we're back at it. We're coming episodes every single day from here on out. No, I'm just kidding.
Evan's like,
Evan's like, no, we're going to stick to maybe 2 weeks.
If we're lucky. But Courtney, mostly I wanted to ask about the Pokemon stuff. It was about Japan.
oh my gosh. So,
Where all have you been? Give us the highlights, favorite stuff you've done.
Yes. Okay, so it kind of wasn't something we expected to do like in the next 5 years. How it kind of came about is Daryl's cousin lives there and in Kyoto area. So her family went and visited, and Daryl's always, my husband's from England, so anytime we travel, it's like England's always our landing spot, and then we can hop off, right? So it's we've never done something where we went somewhere and we didn't have family to stay with. So this was a totally new experience to us. But we went 2 weeks in the fall. It was really hot. So go actually late October onward because it's absolutely miserable. But we stopped in Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, and then back to Tokyo. My favorite was actually surprisingly Osaka.
Okay.
Which is the party one, but it has a more chill vibe outside of that area. But it's exactly what you think it is. It's the perfect fusion of modern anime cartoons, but also tradition. I want to go back. It's actually probably one of my favorite places I've ever visited. I'm kind of really obsessed with it now. Pokemon is everywhere.
Did you go to a Pokemon Center?
Yeah, this is so embarrassing. I think we went to two in Tokyo, and then they have one in Kyoto and Osaka. We went to every one that we could, and they're all relatively the same. You walk in, it's a giant Pokemon store, but we were there to see. They had different life-size figures in each one, so they all had different ones. Sometimes they had different. A big thing in Japan is the stamps you can get for certain locations, monuments, temples, train station stops, metro stops, things like that.
Tourist min-maxing. That's brilliant. My gamer brain is I need to go get all those stamps.
It's
That's
really
awesome.
addicting, except it's so overwhelming. You're you've no idea sometimes where these stamps are, but it's exactly what you think it is. There's random Pokemon stuff everywhere. It's just incorporated into everyone's lives. I trying to relate it back to something here. It's just an advertisement for everything. It's everywhere.
love
Also,
that.
probably my other favorite thing, which I miss dearly, is there's literally a vending machine every couple steps. And obviously, we're not a walkable society, so it's not like
It's not feasible.
feasible here. But oh my God, it's just so convenient. Like you can, my friend, Daryl's cousin who lives there, she'll like go running, and she lived in a pretty remote area at first. And she was running, and just in the random field next to where she was running was a vending machine so she could get water midway on her run. It's like just
Stuff like that.
Yeah,
Living in
and
2030.
Small things.
no,
Yeah.
like
yeah.
2025 or 2050, excuse me.
Yeah.
But the one thing I constantly was looking for, and I actually was pretty disappointed, was Digimon stuff.
It's like the Burger King
No, it really
of
is.
collectible
I saw
monsters.
one Agumon the whole time. I think that was the only. It was like a statue in front of. I don't know. There's random different statues of like programs they had. I feel like there was like a Yu-Gi-Oh, another Pokemon, like random stuff like that. And I was like, oh my God. It was like the second to last day. I was like, the first Digimon I've seen in 2 weeks. It was actually
Yeah.
pretty sad how
Is-
there's no Digimon stuff.
I'm trying
Pokemon
to
has
think of the other like,
survived the
really
generations in a
popular
way
anime.
that
Oh, One Piece was extremely
Okay,
popular
that was
there.
going to be my question.
Which
Oh, yeah.
I haven't gotten into yet just because I'm pretty intimidated by, I mean, Evan knows because I think you tried to start it,
We'll
how
get
many
you there.
episodes there are.
Yeah.
But that
get you
was
there.
huge. One Piece was huge. Sometimes connected to the Pokemon centers were the Nintendo stores, which were so cool.
Oh,
And
that would be
yeah,
great.
we brought back, there was like Animal Crossing, obviously Zelda Link stuff.
Oh yeah, Nintendo.
Yeah.
Was there like a Nintendo stop on the trip?
Yeah, so sometimes the Pokemon centers had the Nintendo stores attached. And another huge thing that I got really addicted to was gachapons. I don't know if you basically like, I'm not sure if you know what those are, but I'm going to relate it back to like a Midwest thing. It's like if you walk outside of Meijer and there's the coin things with stickers and prizes, you basically do that.
Yeah.
And they call them gachapons over there. Ooh, highly addictive, especially when you find like Pokemon and
what's in 'em?
attendant ones.
Yeah.
Anything random. I have like, I'm hiding it right now, but there's a whole box of gachapons behind me. Because I was
America,
so
I would do this. I spend
So,
so much
Evan, they-
money. You can't see I have
So
all these
Evan,
little
they have one
tchotchkes
by
up here.
you. Yeah, they
Do they
have
really?
one. Yeah, they have one in one of the
Oh.
malls now. It's like the
Okay.
biggest one in Michigan, if not the Midwest.
Gotcha.
In that rundown mall with the giant Bass Pro Shop or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so they're really addicting. And then I feel like you guys would like this. At the Nintendo store, they had one, and it was basically like their circles, but they're keychains, and they had different Nintendo controller buttons over the years. And I'm not kidding. There was a guy sitting there, and I think they limited you to about 10 coins a turn. He would sit there with a little calculator, I think, testing his odds on trying to get one. And he sat there for 10 times, cranking it. And then he had to get out of line after 10. And he had his little calculator thing. I don't know what it was. It was like it counted his odds on one of them. And
That's crazy.
he would like get back in line. I mean, everyone's so kind. They're like, don't get annoyed by that stuff. But Daryl was like, I had no idea. You guys would probably know. I just want this one controller from Nintendo. He had like 2 he wanted out of like 10.
Was
I
it a
ended up-
GameCube controller? 'Cause
No, but that one I think was what the guy was trying to aim for because that's what most people wanted was the
My
GameCube.
favorite one was like the see-through purple Nintendo controller.
Yeah.
I was like,
64.
this is
Yeah.
the future.
But it was a really good gotcha, so I had to go and get one. So yeah, we've
I
got
would
one
too.
of them around.
I totally would. You are not helping. Nikki wants to go to Japan so
You
bad.
ha-
and so
it's so feasible. It's so yes.
for the video
Yes.
YouTube viewers,
Yes.
gachapons, yeah, like little coin
They're so addicting.
machines.
They're
and so they just be
addicting.
little characters in these.
Yes, any
eggshells?
random thing, like a lot of keychain things, figurines, once in a while stickers, sometimes little pouches, a lot of figurines, like cheap figurines, but I loved them.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And
kind
they
of
have
like
all kinds of
gambling, but not.
characters. Yeah, 100%.
Gambling for kids.
100%. That's why it's a gotcha. It's a gotcha.
Yeah.
No,
This
but-
is how
awesome.
gambling addictions start
Yeah.
with kids.
I'm incredibly jealous. What do you think what was like your favorite thing you ate while you were there?
Oh, that's hard. Okay. Wow.
Couple
Actually,
favorites.
Daryl's cousin's boyfriend is a tour guide there, so It was really convenient because obviously he spoke pretty well Japanese, like to get us around and to talk to some people. So he was able to kind of show us a couple restaurants and like places to eat that maybe we wouldn't find on like Google Maps or weren't aware of. And there's just this one ramen. The ramen over there is next level. It's so hard to come back here and eat ramen. Yeah. It sounds so silly to be like, oh, ramen was my favorite thing over there, but it's just he just took us to a place there, and the broth is, I don't know how to describe it besides clean. It's just so clean and like
the college
my mouth's
kid in me is
watering
salivating.
Now. Like,
I love
like
ramen.
Salty, but like clean. And it was just, he took us to this one place, and there was maybe maybe like one other tourist person there, but it was like pretty local. And that was probably one of my favorite. My also other favorite, which Evan's gonna laugh, was the hot pot place we ended up going to. Hot pot was like, shabu shabu was next level there. It was like, yeah, we tried to recreate it here, as I was telling you, Evan, not the same, but it was like next level.
Yeah.
And also all the sweets are not overly sweet. They're just like enough. And so actually a lot of the sweets were probably also my favorite. Like,
Well, thank you for sharing all of that.
Yeah.
It sounds like an awesome trip.
It is. I highly recommend anyone to go. So
Yeah.
Not for the Digimon though.
yeah.
For the Digimon.
And I even like Googled things and was like trying to look on Reddit. I'm like, where can I buy Digimon stuff? And I was coming
Everyone
up
said
pretty
nowhere.
empty-handed. I know. Literally the Burger King of
They said
Like
online only.
so disappointed.
Okay. But we're not here to talk about Digimon today. That was great. But I'm excited to talk about this. I'm ready. I just finished. I've been doing this more and more, and I think I really like it, is like finishing and then just rolling into the pod, because I'm in it right now. I'm unfiltered. I will be honest, I had pretty low expectations for this show.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. Why? So why did you have those low expectations?
It's a combo of two things. One, I'd seen a couple clips. It's been out for a while. Even with my new review of the show, I'm not crazy about the animation style. I like what they're going for, the comic book look, but the 3D and the comic book look together really throws me off sometimes.
Yeah.
And the main actor, is his name Thomas Christian?
Hudson Thames.
Hudson Thames. Okay.
Weird name.
He came out.
Thames? Like the river? I don't know.
He came out as the show was premiering, and he said, my biggest concern was I was worried the show was going to be too woke.
And annoying.
That was his quote.
Woke
and annoying. That was his quote.
What's the quote?
My friend, you're starring in this.
He's starring in it. Well, and the quote was to say it's not woke and annoying, was his point. Was like, oh, people are going to like it because it's not woke and annoying. So that kind of turned me off. I'm not gonna lie. I call me part of the woke mob. I was just like, what the hell, dude? But holy shit! In the first 10 minutes, this show's woke as fuck.
Yeah, yeah. Race swapping, gentrification's happening.
Dude, that's
wealth
the biggest joke of it all. It's woke as literal fuck.
Yeah. So Courtney, did you have any of this background going into it, or had you seen any of the murmurs?
But now, actually, I heard that, was it even a couple months ago? It's been a minute since he said that.
It's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah, because it came out in January.
But I haven't actually rethought about his quote until you mentioned it.
Yeah.
But my qualm was the animation style. There's like a lag to it. Like, I feel like
there is.
I don't know. I do like that it's comic booky, but there's just something off about it. It just doesn't stick with me, and it really throws me off or takes me out of it sometimes.
Yeah.
But other than that, I had low expectations.
Yeah.
Because I'll be quite frank, probably wasn't planning on watching it, which I'm actually really disappointed in myself. And if you guys didn't say, hey, let's watch and talk about it. And I'm really sad that I wasn't going to give it a chance, because it actually really ended up enjoying it.
This is the point of the pod, though. We went in low. Oh, go ahead.
For what it's worth, Hudson Thames?
Stop. That can't be his name. Why did I think it was like Thomas?
It's Thames, however you want to pronounce that.
Okay.
Has walked back his statements. In March, he's quoted
2
saying,
months
it
later.
was such a poor choice of words. The point he was trying to make was that from the appearance of it, with characters being of different backgrounds, different ethnicities, he thought it could be a little too on the nose with its messaging, or at least this is maybe what his PR team has put together. But like,
I was gonna say, keeping that check.
yeah. But the point he was trying to
Part of
make
my issue
is
is I
that
thought
it
he
was
was great.
It was well written so that these themes
Yes.
could come through and be a natural part of it without.
What he
being
was saying is it's not the
in your face.
focus of
Yeah.
the show, even
but they
though,
naturally come up,
but
and it's
kinda
woven
was a
in
bit of
pretty
the
well.
Focus.
And that's how anything Stan Lee's kind of written. It's
I
always
know.
been like that. Always. For
The
forever.
biggest joke is
Yeah.
even 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, these same things happened in movies and no one called them woke. So, but one, it was woke as fuck. There's a ton of race swapping, there's gender swapping. But he's right. Like, not that I normally, the only one I think I've ever had a complaint with was Oswalda Cobblepot, but the rest of them, I'm normally fine with. This one was pretty great. I think that it draws on so many characters, and how do I phrase this? Like, it really did justice to the whole Spider-Man mythos. Like, as a whole, not just Spider-Man as a character. Does that make sense? I was really
Yes.
blown away
Every
by the
character
scope
gets
of
their
this.
due.
Exactly. It wasn't all Peter, and I was going to talk about this later. My focus actually was a lot more on like a secondary character.
Yeah.
So I ended up really liking someone else's storyline a lot more.
100%.
Okay.
I already know
Yeah.
where you're. I'm right there with you.
Okay.
I was so zoned in on that story. I couldn't. It was my focus for most of it.
Same.
Okay, before we jump into that, on
the
Rotten
tease.
Tomatoes, 97%. This is
Honestly,
I love
yeah.
that.
very well regarded.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Besides
it-
the animation.
I do feel like the Hudson Thames quote really squashed any
Oh,
discussion.
with the fan reviews.
Well,
yeah.
no,
I didn't.
I'm just saying it killed any momentum that might have gone into
Yeah.
this show. They were
So
coming off of
disappointing.
X-Men 97 being really great. But this is, so he voiced Spider-Man in the What If series, and so this is sort of
I didn't know that.
not a spin-off, but
This
was
is kind
born
of a
from
what
that
if
effort.
series of its own.
Yeah, it's a multiverse. Originally, they were going to tackle it as the origin story to I'm blanking on his name, Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the MCU that we see in Civil War. So
This was better.
You see some of the callbacks, but yeah. So it's born out of that. What If is also CGI rendered, and I think we all sort of brush up against it. It's like the PS2 cutscene like type of animation, motion comics. It's like it can look stiff, which is tough,
Yes.
but
I
I
think
do
the
like
issue we
that.
have is X-Men 97 just did this animation that was like, I don't want to say beautiful, but it was true to form. It was
Right.
great. The only reason I'm letting it pass at all is I like that they went for the comic book feel. I can appreciate
Same.
that. It just didn't land with me
Yes.
personally.
And
That's
they
all. So
intentionally with this show, what they wanted to avoid was veering too close to anything that Spider-Verse is doing, and they tackle 100 different styles. So this series specifically is like calling back to like Spider-Man's debut era, the art style, Steve Ditko, like 60s
Like that.
comic art, which is which I like. I like that look. I like the character
Same.
designs, and you get a lot of those classic costumes as well. But yeah,
So-
let's jump in. That's the background.
this to me was like if the MCU did not need to throw Spider-Man in the Captain America movie, and they could have just woven him in on his own path. This is that story, in my opinion, and that is what I loved about this.
How did you feel about the callbacks to the MCU? So there's a little mention of Civil War that you see Captain America, you see Ant-Man. There's you get Norman
fight.
Osborn introduction, but they sort of fake you out because they set it up the same way as Tony Stark's.
I knew Norman Osborn was going to be a big part of this show, but I still got psyched out. I thought it was about to be Tony.
Yeah.
Really?
I did. I hadn't seen that clip or anything.
Well, I had no expectations, so I guess I didn't think that.
Yeah, I
so.
mean, it was literally like his introduction in Captain America: Civil War, and so I was like, oh, this must be that scene. I was like, oh, interesting. I didn't think they were gonna go this route, and they didn't.
Was this the same? This is random, maybe not really. Is this the same Earth number that we're used to. It's 616? Is that the one we're used to
so
or no?
they're actually getting better now that Kevin Feige's gotten out of his own way about like, so the comic book world is 616. The MCU is actually like 199999.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and so this animated universe might be connected, but it seems like these are kind of standalone projects.
Okay.
And you know
Yeah.
what? I think in the era of people having so many complaints about the MCU, that's probably the best way to go about
Same,
it.
because that's why I've fallen off it. So,
yeah,
yeah.
Exactly.
And that's I mean, not that they were like too there were too many
Overextending.
or too in your face, but like the couple callbacks that there were to Civil War, specifically to Tom Holland's introduction, it's like that movie came out in 2017. That's 8 years ago at this point.
It's crazy.
What's the point? You're not like, that's not doing anything for anyone. Like, just let it go and lean into the world that you're building is
But
one of my
I think it actually really informed the world that was going on in the moment. The Soviet Accords were played like a part, like him looking up to Captain America,
Yeah.
but even though he's still the bad guy in this universe, that is part of what I really liked about this. Is this wasn't like they were like, you can make a Spider-Man TV show, but you can only do Spider-Man, Scorpion, and Tombstone. They were like, go crazy. They had think of all the, like, they couldn't have done this in a live action thing because they couldn't have had the 2-minute Iron Man cameo or the, like, you know what I'm saying? There was all these things that they referenced and were able to touch on that didn't have constraints by the MCU's movie contract deal and timing and scheduling and all these things. And so, to me, I think for the time moving forward, they should do more projects like this. X-Men 97,
Yeah.
Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I can't think of what I would want to see next, but like this is such a celebration of like everything Spider-Man, in my opinion, while still getting Doctor Strange, while still seeing all these
Because
people
that's
we
part
know.
of his world. Like, Spider-Man has always had those other big superheroes around him. And personally, I think the cameos worked really well. Like, you
Yeah.
didn't have too long lingering on Iron Man. You didn't have, like, Doctor Strange at first, I was like, okay. But actually, I think he ended up fitting really
At the
well.
end, it
Yeah.
was beautiful.
The end. Yeah. That ended up work. I had to rewind it because I was like, wait, did I miss something?
I literally,
it,
in
like,
the beginning,
threw-
though, was so confused. I was like, this
Yeah.
is such a weird origin story
Yeah.
for Peter.
Yes.
And the fact that they really wrapped it up at the end, I was like, oh my.
Because I was a little
already
mad
on
about
board.
that at first. I have my qualms on that. But to be honest, compared to how the MCU usually does cameos, I have qualms about that as well. Like, just throwing things in for like fan service. I think they
fuck's
did it
sake.
really well because those older superheroes really, like,
Served a
Peter
purpose.
looks up to them, and they serve a purpose and mentorship and things like that. So I think it was done really well.
What was really fun to see for me is we always get like, there's a long-standing comic trope that like Daredevil and Spider-Man are very good friends and like close. But what I realized with this iteration of it all is they all realize Spider-Man is trying to do good. He can do all these good things, but he's just a kid. They're like, we really shouldn't be putting this on a kid's shoulders, but like, damn, we need him at times and he really wants to help. And so it really kind of actually informed a bit of like all these people's relationship with Peter to me is like I don't want to say view him as like a little brother, but it's kind of like
Yeah.
a little brother mentality. And it's, it changed how I view Spider-Man's relationships with these people. He's just like the happy-go-lucky guy. They all
He's
want
happy
to
to be
spend time with him.
involved.
Eventually,
Yeah.
he's just happy to be there. The him and the Daredevil stuff, I loved. I fucking
That was
loved
my
it.
favorite fight scene.
was so
of
I
fun.
all
still need to
time.
finish the new season.
Oh,
Oh,
I
yeah,
have
it was
like
fun.
2
I like
episodes
the-
left.
the
Yeah.
Spider-Man
no,
even finished.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
So I haven't gotten to the Daredevil fight, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I think you guys, I think you two are touching on something, which is like what this series does really well. What I liked about Spider-Man Homecoming, Tom Holland's first movie, is keeping Spider-Man in high school as a kid,
Yes.
not a working professional, not a clearly 30-year-old actor.
Yes.
Like keeping him really grounded in that world, and in that way, him being sort of like the avatar for the viewer. Like you're,
Yes.
you know, a young person or
Like second-
30 years old.
Yeah. Like second
Even
episode
when you're
in.
30,
Yeah,
you've been in
like
high
you're the
school,
bridge to
yeah.
the Spider-Man
Yeah.
is the bridge to the the superhero world, like where you're taking
Yes.
it all in through his perspective and learning, and I think that's what people really appreciate.
That's so true. And you know what? This was very much like, and to get back on our expectations, it was like, do we need another Spider-Man project?
That's what I thought. So, which people need to give it a chance because that is literally what I thought. There's so many
So much
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
projects
properties.
like every couple years, but people
I
really
also
need to
just
give
played
this series a
Spider-Man
chance.
2, the video game, and it
Oh.
was phenomenal. It's like everything Spider-Man touches is just so good. I cried during a video game. I've never
Oh,
cried
wow.
during a video game. I cried during a video game.
Is that the one that centers around Miles Morales or?
Dude, these games. All right, not to since it's Spider-Man related. There's Spider-Man 1, which is about Peter, and they introduce Miles as a very minor character in it. And then they have like it's like cheaper too. It's like half a video game, and it is Miles's origin story. And Peter is like a minor character in it. They know each other. And then in Spider-Man 2, you play as both of them at different times, and they're Spider-Man.
Kinda love that.
And it
That's
is
pretty sweet.
what I love about the games and what I love about this is it was such a celebration of everything Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Not just Spider-Man versus this villain like we're so used to. You get what I mean? Like this was very like he's fighting Daredevil, which is like another hero. And that's what I loved about the Soviet Accords too, is like Peter feels some sort of like moral superiority, but he really shouldn't over Daredevil. You know what I mean? You're doing the same shit, buddy. So it's complicated. It's good, but it's large and expansive. It's not just centered in on him, May, his best friend, versus the villain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe we
Talk
talk
about
about
the
his. Yeah, the characters. His
Characters.
friend group. Notably, we don't have, which I appreciate about the series, not treading familiar territory. We don't have an MJ stand-in. We don't
No.
have a Gwen
Gwen.
Stacy stand-in.
No.
We
There's
have
no Ned.
Nico Mura, his best friend.
Who I called instantly, actually. Have you guys ever watched? Probably not. It's an old Hulu TV show, an MCU show called Runaways. It's like
gosh,
this
no.
obscure group of kids that all have these powers or
Yeah.
abilities, and
I
they,
haven't seen
they
it, but familiar.
and Nico Mora, notably, is one of them. So I called instantly.
Does she have powers?
She's a
I don't
witch.
kn-
She's a witch.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the end, we see her use her fucking medallion to talk to her mother.
Yeah.
What the
I was just saying, Evan.
I'm forgetting details.
She's a witchy girl.
Yeah. And the tarot cards, I called it. I saw it a
She's
mile
definitely
away.
on Witch
I didn't actually
Talk.
think they were going to go that route, but once again, it was just cool that I was like, I know this MCU character. Like, very small, but I know her. Like,
I knew
you know what
none
I mean?
of them.
Yeah. Tombstone. As soon
Didn't know him.
Oh my god. Well, maybe it's okay. Well, we
Let's
can
just-
go. Let's talk about
yeah.
Nico. Let's talk about Nico.
Okay.
Let's keep talking. Let's stick on Nico. What did
I don't have a lot to say.
did you like her being sort of the Ned, like
Yeah, yeah.
his best friend? I mean, for all intents and purposes, it was his best friend even before Harry in this, which is different.
Yeah. I like that we get to see Peter struggle with something other than like the relationship crush thing.
Same, like him struggling with his
Balancing a
friend
friendship.
relationships. Yeah.
There's even the jealousy dynamic between
the
Nico and
threesome,
Harry
yeah.
Osborn because he's the new guy that comes in and he's
We
also
can
a
switch over to
billionaire.
Harry then while we're
Yeah.
talking about him.
Harry's great.
Harry's got a cool car.
I
Harry's
really,
Harry.
Yeah.
I liked Harry. I thought Harry was really well done. I
He's
think
good comic relief.
He is picture James Franco in 2025. He'd be a
yes.
social media influencer selling water on Instagram.
Okay.
And so I maybe not James Franco. That's actually bad. That hasn't aged well.
No.
But I really liked this dynamic of Harry. I liked seeing them meet. And after the Spider-Man games, I'm just like all in on the Peter-Harry friendship. So I thought this was a cool take on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that he has a team around him that
Yeah.
like slowly builds up. And I guess not to skip right over Harry, but like interesting dynamic that the Osborns, namely Norman Osborn, is a critical part of that team in the series. Like that's a new approach.
New take.
I was gonna say I'm not familiar as with Spider-Man lore as I am with other areas. Have they been a team in the past somewhere? I don't.
Not in this
Recall
regard, not,
in
or at
that
least
way.
that I know of.
Okay.
If it's not like it's not a major comic story,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Okay.
mean it hasn't happened. You know,
Right.
there's so many comics over the years. So, but I really liked that it was like
It's
from
not
the
a
jump.
canon event.
Yeah.
He's
but
normally the enemy.
This universe
That's
is
what I-
also
that's what I
so
figured.
different because of Doctor Strange doing that like 30-second time travel. And what someone pointed out to me is like a lot of these differences come from the fact that like he just didn't go to the same high school he goes to in every other iteration of Spider-Man, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, it's not just 30-second time hop.
Well,
It
he
goes
was-
back like
I mean-
months.
No, I meant like he was in the past for like 30
Sure,
seconds
okay.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Also, when he was fighting that monster in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
didn't think twice about what that thing was.
It
Sick.
looks
Why did I not
exactly like
think about-
Venom.
I know.
I'm sorry.
But
I'm
why
sorry.
did I not catch that in the
I didn't
first
catch it.
episode either?
I just thought it was a
the
magic monster he was fighting.
Same.
Yeah.
At the last episode, I caught it. I was like,
I caught
"That's
it
Venom."
instantly in the last one.
But I
yeah.
was like, why did I not catch that earlier until the
great
fight
callback.
happened?
Yeah.
Great callback.
How does that work though?
What?
If Peter gets his powers, so in
It-
episode 1,
I love time.
It's a time
we're,
loop.
we're talking about it. Let's talk about the
yeah,
time travel.
it's a time loop. So Peter gets his powers from a spider that comes through the
was
little...
from his blood that Harry
Yeah.
extracted. So
Yeah.
this is what we call a bootstrap paradox. One cannot exist without the other. It is an endless circle.
But doesn't
and with
the superpower have to be introduced to...
not in a
to Peter
bootstrap
at some-
paradox.
Yeah, that took me. I
No,
was
it's
like,
a
that's why I
bootstrap
rewinded
paradox.
it.
One cannot exist without the other. Thus, it is an endless cycle. And that time travel, as Peter
But
said
the
at the
cycle
end.
has to start somewhere, right?
No, it doesn't. Not with time travel. Not with time
This
travel.
is so
unfortunately.
Disney
Yeah.
MCU.
It's a paradox.
Yeah.
It is a paradox, though. And I like that
Okay.
they kind of addressed it, and that's why Strange was there. He was like,
Yeah.
this was fucked up. I created something that wasn't supposed to ever exist, type deal, is what he's thinking.
Okay.
And that's why Spider-Man was like, hey, what's meant to happen is going to happen, whether it's weird or different or whatever. It's always going to happen. That was good. And because I'm a big time travel, I love looking into all these things. And so the bootstrap
Yeah.
paradox is one. It's like if I went to the past and gave my old self a gun and then used that gun and then
Gave
went
yourself
back,
a
it's like, where'd that
podcast
gun?
mic.
Yeah, exactly. Gave myself the podcast mic. Where did the mic come from? Where did it ever
Yeah.
originate? In this case, it is, where did those powers ever originate? It's Spider-Man, baby.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's a fun element, but it was breaking my brain to
It
think
broke
about.
my, that's why I had to rewind it because it broke my
It's
brain.
meant to. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
very much like, oh my God, none of this would have happened if none of this would have happened. It's like, you know what I mean? It doesn't, it's not supposed to make sense. That's why it's a paradox. It's
Which
paradoxical.
I don't like the time warping, but like I said, this one I didn't mind. Like that's fine. Keep it simple-ish. Like
was a
don't
fun
be
twist.
getting
Yeah.
don't be getting too complicated with it.
Had shades. It reminded me of Spider-Verse 2. The spider that bestows
Yes.
powers on him comes
yes,
from a
that's what I
different
was thinking.
different universe.
That was what I was thinking originally it was. It came from a different universe.
That's what I thought as well.
And then that's why I like the time travel aspect. I was like, oh, this is fun. Like, if Norman never meets Spider-Man, he doesn't extract the blood to make these spiders. And if he doesn't make these spiders, he doesn't
There's
go
never
through the
Spider.
time
Yeah.
travel.
Yeah.
There's no Spider-Man. Yeah.
Norman Osborn though.
Yeah.
Voiced
Let's talk
by
about him.
Oscar-nominated
voice.
Colman
Yes.
Domingo.
He was
Sing
great.
Sing.
He was
I didn't
so
know
good.
that was him.
Yeah.
He's a
But
great
at times
voice.
he really was giving me like Green Goblin from the movies.
Willem Dafoe. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Pretty reminiscent. But yeah. Is Norman Osborn the character dynamic you enjoyed, Courtney, or was it a different one you
Evan.
were really invested in?
No. How do you not know the secondary story
Yeah,
that takes
come
way
on.
more importance? and
parallel-
way
Oh
more
yeah, Lonnie.
fascinating?
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, it's been a couple
I
days
knew
since I finished the
exactly what she
series.
meant. Yeah, but Norman was really cool. I like that he was the mentor villain. And what I liked about this is I wouldn't even say he went full evil. there was just like shades of
Yeah,
bad guy.
it's
Norman.
lingering there. The darkness is lingering there. I think hopefully if we get a season 2, we'll see that. I think we will see it more, which
I
I
feel
like.
like
I
they
like
set up
that
a
he
season
fully
2
wasn't
hard.
evil. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I love that we didn't see him evil right away. I feel like if he ends up, which I'm guessing, becoming evil and a villain, it's going to hit that much harder.
Yeah.
Feels worth it. Or like we've earned it.
Yes, yes.
He's ruthless capitalist, bad in this, not cartoonish villain evil for no reason, which I appreciate.
right.
He's cutting deals with Secretary Ross to sell
That was
weaponry
even just
and
throwing
shit.
Secretary Ross in there is like fun to me. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I know
Which,
him.
has anyone watched the new
Not yet.
Captain America? I haven't watched
waiting.
it. Yeah,
I missed
I'll watch
it. It was wedding season for me.
I told
Came
you
out
on
on
a
Valentine's
little
Marvel.
not
break.
strike but break from the live action stuff.
Yeah,
Speaking of our
That's-
friend Daredevil, though, Daredevil on Disney Plus is also pretty good right now.
yeah. I
It's
need
not
to.
perfect, but it's good.
I need to re-watch. I've had it on the background. Had
It's good.
trouble getting into the first episode, but
But our Charlie Cox reprises his role in this too.
It was his voice.
It was his
okay.
voice. That's why there's like one moment where I'm like, you could tell Charlie's doing some cool shit with his face that didn't translate to animation. It's where
his eyes are doing.
No, that is not what I meant. Spider-Man was like, this is like top
it's
5
method
super battles
acting.
for me. And he goes, I don't really keep track, but this is pretty cool. And you can tell like he does like a smirk that does not
Yeah,
translate
you
via
could
animation.
feel it, yeah.
You can feel it. I don't have a car at the moment, so I'm getting a lot of things delivered to my house. Marty has made it so easy because not only are they fast and efficient, but they're the cheapest option out there by far.
I get these matcha lattes that retail for like $45 for a 12-pack, and I've never bought it full price. I get it on Marty for $15. Marty's woman-owned, sustainable, socially conscious, and eco-friendly. What they do is they buy up surplus inventory from the top brands that you love, and they sell it to you at a lower price, so you save food waste and you save money.
That was my first question, was how do they get these things so cheap? But they have a model and it's passing savings on to you. They got hundreds of items, fast shipping, no subscriptions needed, and you can save on all the great food that you love. We do have a discount code when you go to marty.com/2dudeswatchcartoons, all one word.
TWO, dudes watch
TWO, 2 dudes watch cartoons, all one word. You can save $5 off your order.
Go to marty.com/2dudeswatchcartoons at our link in bio, or just plug in the promo code 2dudeswatchcartoons. That's TWO, dudes watch cartoons. Thanks for supporting the pod. Go get yourself some delicious snacks. Alex, go figure out the car situation. I don't know what's going on.
I don't need to with Marty.
Back to the episode.
Two dudes watch cartoons.
We're still on Norman, or can we move
Okay.
on?
No,
Should
we
move
can
on?
still be on Norman. I don't know. I thought it was cool. He was the guy in the chair, or whatever they call that
Yeah.
trope.
Yeah. The dude in the chair.
Yeah, he's Ned essentially.
I'm actually surprised we didn't see more angst towards Harry and his dad. I thought maybe he would get more jealous. I thought maybe we would see it as it would go on.
I think it's coming. I think that's all
and
building.
Because I wanted that extra layer to Harry. So maybe that's why I was like, Harry's Harry right
Starting
now.
this business without his dad. At the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed when we get a glimpse of the glider that swoops in to save Spider-Man,
And he wasn't on
and
it.
he's just
I was so
talking
sad
through a
about
speaker like.
They did that on purpose.
I
They
know. I
so
know.
did that on purpose.
Yeah. How'd you guys feel about Scorpion being sort of the main villain?
I liked
the
it.
whole season,
I love.
yeah?
Okay, I texted you guys this. I think it was like after that episode he's introduced, maybe a couple more in. I was like, wow, I really like Spider-Man villains. Like,
Yeah.
they're probably out of like most of the comic book world, I enjoyed their Spider-Man villains the most.
I think Spider-Man villains knock a really nice balance of like still scary, but
Yeah.
also like cartoonish villain. Does that make sense? Like they're this
Yeah.
big hulking, I'm the Rhino or I'm a Scorpion, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that's terrifying, but also kind of silly.
Like
you
pretty
get what I get.
fallible. Like there's probably one weakness. He could like snip off his tail or something.
What I was realizing about the Scorpion while watching this, he was really sick in this. I think they did him justice. I'm like, he's just a weaker Otto Octavius, though. Dr. Octopus.
Right.
It's like
And I was-
Doc Ock's got 4 of those bad boys.
I like that they set up Doc Ock though. He's like
I like
a
that
B
he was
player in the
introducing-
season.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the
he
stuff.
isn't fully formed yet, but he's got that ugly fucking bowl cut
It makes
and those glasses.
The glasses, I loved those.
the glasses were so comic booky because they had like
Yes.
half of like a reflection of something on them,
Yes.
no matter where he went.
It was always that reflection. I loved that. See, that's like the kind of animation twerks I liked.
Yeah, that was.
But then
that was
other
good.
parts took it out of it for me.
Well, let's talk about Lonnie then.
Please.
I'll be honest. I thought once I saw whatever the boss of the 1/10th gang is, I thought he was going to
Big Donnie.
become Big
Big
Don.
Donnie, yep.
I thought it was going to lead down a path to the Prowler because that guy was wearing purple. I don't know who Lonnie Lincoln is. I know.
Well, I
who-
didn't
I've
either,
heard
but
the
I
didn't
know
either.
who Tombstone is. That was
Yeah.
what was fun to me, and they nicknamed him Tombstone pretty early on. And I'll be honest, when they said we call you Tombstone, I go. I was like, I was gagged because Tombstone.
Is Tombstone that big of a villain? Like he's a
No,
henchman in
but
the
I've played
Spider-Verse
Spider-Man
movies.
2.
Okay.
I've played Spider-Man 2. He runs a gang. He runs the 110th Street Gang. And he, as we see at the end, he's got impervious skin. You like you can't, he's really strong now, and he's like Luke Cage kind of. But as we also saw at the end, he is like bone-chilling gray from head to toe. And so Lonnie is losing his like skin color. But
albino.
I didn't realize that Tombstone's name was Lonnie. So for me, it was just like, oh, I was like, who is this Lonnie? I almost thought he was like replacing Harry. Like,
Yeah, I thought maybe
I
that
thought he
too.
was gonna be Pete's best friend. I'm not kidding though. What if they handled all the Spider-Man stuff poorly, the show still probably would have got a pass for the Lonnie stuff to me. It was so fascinating and
Yeah,
interesting.
same.
I was gripped every time it involved something with Lonnie.
Like when he obviously trades with his brother Spot in the gang, I was like, my Shayla. I was like, no.
I
Yeah.
What about your football career? I was
even his
like,
brother
no.
was like, I was the one who had nothing. You got football. You got to wait
I
out of here.
know.
It was hard to watch some of
It
those scenes because it was like, Lonnie, what are you doing?
I
But
know.
at the same time, it was like, of course he's gonna try to protect his little brother. Of course he's gonna
Right,
do whatever
that's
he.
him. He's always been like that. Yeah.
Some of it was heart wrenching to see him
Yeah.
go further and further down that path.
He's the tragic foil to Peter Parker. That was a really cool parallel through the whole season.
It was.
Yeah, it was because they went down 2 totally different and separate paths, and partly just because of like the neighborhood that they live in. And I think that's just so real and so
So woke and annoying.
so woke and annoying, bro. I'm really shocked the show kind of went down that path of like the gang violence and seeing someone get into it and how. And then like while he was even against it slowly, and then at one point he was like, well, those guys saved me. I owe them. And she was like, you don't owe them anything, dude. And it was like, oh my God, I see how he's like slipping down this slope.
Or how someone can slip down that
How
slope.
someone,
Yes.
even as smart as Lonnie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn.
For a little bit of context, he starts out as the star quarterback of the football team.
Super smart. He's really
And
good
he
at
is
science.
really smart.
Yeah.
Fast friends with Peter
Yeah.
Parker.
Super likable guy.
Dating Pearl.
Dating Pearl, who Peter Parker has a crush on. But yeah, we watch him sort of.
Conservatives are mad that Peter Parker only has crushes on black women now. Just thought of this.
He
Sorry,
has a
I had
type.
to say it.
Yes.
Conservatives
He
say
knows
go
what he
woke, go
likes.
broke.
That's not fair. Everyone has a crush on Zendaya. Like, you can't relate it back to that. She's everyone's type.
Good point. Good point. No, I'm sorry. Continue. Lonnie, yeah, you set up Lonnie, and then his brother, his mom calls him one day and said his brother's getting involved with a gang, the 110th Street Gang. And Lonnie says, not my little brother.
I felt one little internal twang of like, ooh, this is maybe a little dicey when the competing gang is just one ethnic group fighting another ethnic group. I was like, this feels
The Scorpions
a
versus the
little odd.
110th Gang?
Yeah.
What, you think it was racially motivated is what
Yeah,
you're saying?
I'm not saying it was racially motivated, but a very clear delineation. One gang is Hispanic, one gang is black. Not to say that those things don't happen in the world, but I was like, throw in like a redhead in one of
I
those
was
gangs.
going to say, the 110th gang did have at least one white guy. It maybe looked like a girl. I don't know.
hire.
His hair was like, had like medium length hair.
So I'm sorry, but the Lonnie stuff was really interesting to me because it felt very like I can see where, like I said, when they nicknamed him Tombstone, I gasped. I didn't see it coming. I literally was like, "There's no way," and it just really. I think something I realize I really like in a superhero story is seeing a really good villain origin story.
Same.
One that, like, I don't want to say resonates with me because then that makes me sound like I'm gonna be a super villain, but like that like makes sense to me. If
Right.
that, you know what I mean, is logical. I see how they got there.
Yeah. He's Sasuke or
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
Zuko. I don't know,
Yeah,
pick your.
Zuko's a good one. Zuko's a good one.
Yeah.
Lonnie, Nico, who else? Aunt May. You know what? We talked shortly about this in our text group. I've decided I'm pro hot Aunt May.
I mean,
Evan's like, well, I mean, technically, so am I.
yeah.
I was gonna say, Evan, you agreed?
No, what it is I think the old Spider-Man movies we think of, she was like Peter's grandma.
Yeah. Which
Like
is,
this to me feels much more of an aunt dynamic.
Yeah.
And I kind of appreciate that.
and I think that's what the Marissa Tomei casting,
That's what they're going. That's what
RIP
they've been
Marissa
going
Tomei,
for.
Aunt May.
Yeah, that shit was
But
crazy.
yeah. What is it when when Supreme Court justices are like strict by the text or
By the book?
strict constitution?
Oh.
There's like a
I don't even know.
I'm
I
being
don't
that
know.
about Aunt May and Spider-Man lore.
So she was fine. She was a very little part of this. And you know what? It was present, but the whole series was not, oh, I can't worry Aunt May, or I can't like let Aunt May down.
Well, since we're talking about Aunt May, let's talk about how did you guys feel about Ben dying before the powers?
It's much like the MCU. We never see Uncle Ben in the MCU.
And I don't know if I liked that in the MCU either. I don't know.
I think I'm okay. I think we've seen it enough at
The
this point.
MCU really nailed the old switcheroo and had that Uncle Ben moment with Aunt May. And
So
so
do you think they'll do that again?
I was gonna say I actually think that's probably where it'll go.
Okay.
But I get what you're saying where it feels so integral to Peter. But
Yeah.
I am kind of with Evan. It's like, man, we've seen it so many times that
Mix it.
I wouldn't have minded if he was there maybe at the strange event and that's when he passes away. Like that would have been fine, but I don't need another focus on it, if that makes sense.
I don't think we need to see Spider-Man in a WWE.
Well, I needed a little
Ring.
more of that. Did you guys like his first suit,
Bonesaw.
Spider-Man? Did you guys like Spider-Man's first suit with like the blue hockey jersey and the old
Yeah, that was
the
cool.
propulsion?
Oh, I loved that.
Yeah, I liked
it
it
reminds
too.
me of, I think, Andrew Garfield's was kind
Yeah.
of like a DIY as well.
Yeah,
I'm
he-
trying to remember. Yeah,
I
kind of reminded me of that.
I was just like, oh, this is. I feel like they really nailed without like
The teenager of it.
they
Yeah.
nailed the teenager of it. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It was good in that regard.
I liked the other experimental costumes. He had like the golden.
Oh,
one with
those
cape,
were funny,
Prodigy, Hornet, Dusk. Those are like deep cut Spider-Man references that like I picked up on through Wikipedia when I was like 7. It's like, oh, nice.
Little Easter eggs.
Right. Nice.
I recognize that. I mean, so with Aunt May though, one thing we get a crucial moment. She's not like super present in the whole series. We do get
my
at
God,
the very
yeah.
end.
What?
She sits down across Peter Parker's dad. I don't even know what his first
I
name
literally
is.
have
just
in
know.
my notes, what the fuck, Peter's dad?
What does that mean? Because we never got that far with the Andrew Garfield.
But was that where it was going
movies.
with Andrew Garfield's
Yeah, was
movies? I think
Wasn't
it actually
that like
was.
his
There was
parents
some
were
sort of-
missing or like
His parents were missing, I think, is what it
Yeah.
was.
Do
in
they?
those
And they never
movies.
addressed that his
They never
parents
got
are
to the
missing in
third
this
one.
one.
They never got to
No, they never mentioned that.
like that they died in like a car accident or something. Like
But
they
you
never
know
say
what?
that in this one.
He never also says like they're dead.
Yeah.
So maybe he knows that his dad's in prison.
He
but we
yeah.
he could know. He might
He's
not.
trying to make that dead parents joke with Harry and Nico, but like he never said my parents are dead. He was just trying to like say they're not here. I don't know.
Did he call himself an
Someone-
orphan?
someone
I'm gonna have
listening to
watch.
this
He didn't.
podcast.
He
I don't think
didn't say he was an orphan. He did not say that. I don't think. So
If you are more familiar with Spider-Man lore and you're listening to this episode of the podcast,
DM us. Has this
DM
happened?
us. Where could this be going? Because I don't know. I don't have
we have no
theories.
clue.
I was really shocked by that. I'll be honest. I was convinced it was Uncle Ben. I thought
I
it
was
Uncle-
too.
Well, he
Well,
said,
aren't they technically
"My
brothers? So
son."
they do look alike.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
but he said, "How's my son?" And so
Yeah.
like,
You
but
shot Uncle Ben.
That's why he's in jail.
that's crazy.
Did you guys catch this as well? It was really faint, like it was in X-Men '97. Did you see the Witcher in the sky? The Watcher? Oh my God, the Witcher. I'm
The
so
Watcher?
sorry. The
very
Watcher
end.
in the sky.
No, where was
very
he?
The very end.
He was
I
watching
think after
them
he's
fight
talking
Venom.
to Strange.
I think
Oh.
it's after he says that line, Evan, about it's
The
whatever's gonna
things
be
are
is gonna
always,
be.
whatever's gonna
Yeah.
happen is
And
weird
the
or
Watcher
not.
was outlined in the background again,
Shut the fuck up. That's
just
cool.
like '97. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you
That's
keep up with
annoyingly
Alex?
cool.
Did you keep up with What If?
Hell no, I did not keep up with What If. I wanna keep this high opinion of Marvel animation right now.
I was gonna say, is the Watcher show up a lot in What If as well?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
in
I
every.
didn't
He's
know that.
He's
narrates
watching
the whole
every.
thing.
He narrates. I even think he intervenes in one episode. Yeah.
Okay.
It just got to a point where all of the What If propositions seemed stupid to me.
I know that Evan, you nailed it, and I
What
know
if-
where they. I remember where they lost me.
Yeah.
What if T'Challa was Star Lord? And I was like,
Oh, that's random.
I go, but like, how did we get? Why
Yeah.
would? To
What?
me, it was always like, what if this one thing went differently? What if the other 50% of humanity got snapped? What if this? Like, what? If, not if. What if T'Challa was Star Lord? That doesn't. What? How is that? How is that happening? Why is that happening?
I think I remember watching that episode. I'm like, what if I stopped watching this bullshit? But it was Doctor Strange 2 Quantumania, the dark version of him, I believe is supposed to have been whoever came up in the What If Doctor Strange episodes. Like I think it was like a through line.
You think he's the through? Oh, interesting.
Don't fact check me on that. Don't quote me on it. But I think, but
think,
it's like that was sort of the issue with where Marvel has been in the past decade. Hopefully, Spider-Man in this series is moving a little bit away from like needing to know the homework or do the homework.
Yeah, I
but,
don't
like,
think you need to know Spider-Man to get into this. Honestly,
definitely not. You could throw this on for kids.
A new-
you know.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was gonna say, there's a pretty
fan.
gory. At one point, it
yeah.
got really dark with the scorpion, though. I was like,
That's
oh,
true. Spider-Man
like,
does get
perfect for
stabbed.
kids.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, well, then he kills like a guy, and you see it. I was like,
perfect.
whoa, that was like got really dark.
And so I think that I don't even know where I'm going with this. I'm sorry. What were we talking about?
It being dark,
Yeah,
people getting
sure.
murdered, gang violence, ethnically charged gang violence.
Perfect for children. They need to see this stuff.
Peter Parker's dad
Put it
leads a
on for
gang
your
of all
kids,
whites in
people.
prison.
What on earth do we think his dad could be doing? There was a lot of. I think they have to have a season 2 because at the end there was
have
setting
to.
up so much.
I think they are on track for season 2 and maybe already have a 3 confirmed.
I want to say I feel like it got really good reviews. I mean, 97% on Rotten
97%.
Tomatoes.
Just no one's talking about it though.
Yeah,
At
it
le-
really.
yeah.
I got no spoilers on it.
Hudson.
The Doctor
No.
Strange thing at the end, I think, was brilliant. I know you guys are mind wrinkled by the whole bootstrap paradox. But
No, I love it, but
No,
I
it was
was
good.
like,
It did take me a second though. Like I said, I
pretty sure
rewinded it because I was
there's
like,
there's one of them in Terminator with the Connors. It's been years since I've watched that series, but it's very much like the Connors don't go down this path if the Terminator doesn't come back, but the Terminator doesn't come back unless the Connors are evil. You know what I mean?
that's probably the best advocation of watching a Terminator movie other
That's-
than like
yeah.
T1 or T2 that I've heard.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, maybe it could be
The
fun.
time travel stuff is interesting in Terminator.
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I've never even seen a Terminator.
I think T2 is the one.
I think that's the
Terminator 2
one
is
people
one.
love. Yeah,
Okay.
it's
But
been
it is
years
all
since I've
James
seen them.
Cameron, or the
It
first
is, it
two.
is James Cameron though.
That explains a lot.
So have we covered every character? I think we might have. Let's do a
I think
quick
most-
run through. I
yeah.
mean, did we talk about Peter? What do you guys think about this Peter?
Other
I
than the
hated that
voice
he never
actor.
wore a lab
Woke
coat.
and annoying.
Yeah.
No.
When he was in the lab, he never wore a lab coat when everyone else was. Pissed me off. Didn't understand that at all.
Because he was too busy
Disrespectful.
scurrying around. He never had time to actually do anything.
I think it was actually a really good balance. Sometimes I get a little annoyed with like when poorly written Spider-Man shows, like his wisecracks are bad. Like it's a notorious trait of
yeah,
the
yeah,
character,
yeah.
but it can be annoying when it's like written poorly. And I think it was a mix of like this series does it well, where it's like not bad humor, but it's also just like a kid trying to cope with high stress
I was
situations.
gonna say,
which
but
is well.
he's like that guy who's trying to joke and his jokes never land because he's that awkward. So like I got that part, and that in itself was humorous. But yeah,
To me, and it's one of the things someone pointed out to me why I love Spider-Man is he in like a stressful situation just turns to humor, and no one else is like, and I'm like, oh, I do the same thing. Even if no one's gonna laugh, I'm gonna crack the joke because I just have to for myself. And so I really appreciate about him, and I think it really landed this time around. I agree with you. I thought his wisecracking wasn't like even too much. It was just the appropriate amount and at the appropriate times. He's still learning. He's learning.
Yeah, he's just a teenager, guys. Be nice.
This is the age they need to do Spider-Man at more. I know this sounds silly, but like Tom's 2 years too old in the movies. Like him in freshman year Spider-Man is so peak Spider-Man.
It was beautiful. It's trying to juggle 2 dates at the dance. It's that kind of stress, like that kind of sitcom.
Nailed it. Yeah.
Drama or stakes.
Even just meeting Nico at the movies, and then Harry shows up, and you instantly know, oh, he shouldn't have invited Harry.
Yeah. So there is a season 2. It says
Hell yeah.
I'm seeing it'll release in 2026.
Okay.
So there was the Watcher. There's his dad. There was a couple other.
There was
things they leave.
We saw Lonnie losing.
Finesse.
He's becoming. Oh my God! Do you know about Daredevil's spy Finesse? Never even heard of her.
Oh my God! What? Yeah, we did. I didn't. I had to Google it.
But I knew something was up with that student the whole time. She was so weird.
Wow, I missed that until the end. I just thought
she was on the top floor, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't realize I wasn't allowed up here, or whatever."
Yeah, how did I not catch that? I was like, "What the heck?"
She also at times wouldn't be wearing her lab coat. Maybe that was another indication. I
There you
noted
go.
that though.
Everyone up to something is not wearing a lab coat.
They race and gender swap Dr. Connors. It's
I was
so
just gonna
woke
say
and
that.
annoying.
Did they?
Yeah, Dr.
Wait,
Connors
which one
was his mentor in the intern program.
Yeah.
She's missing an arm.
I didn't.
Evan.
I just heard the name Connors thrown around.
She helps-
thrown around, and I
she
thought
helps-
it was the annoying boss.
No, that's
No.
Paul, and that's that voice it's Mr. Peanut Butter. If you ever watch BoJack Horseman, it's Paul.
Oh my gosh.
F. Tompkins.
Yes, Paul F. Tompkins. Thank you. And it was so off-putting to hear him in this as a bad guy because he's normally such a lovable buffoon.
Okay.
But yeah, Dr. Connors was like his mentor, and the was the woman mentor. No, I'm kidding. No, that's why I said they race in gender swapped her. So woke and annoying as Hayden would
Woke
say.
and annoying. I looked it up on Wikipedia. Finesse.
Oh, yeah.
In the comic books, is the daughter of the supervillain Taskmaster.
Oh.
Who, if you're an MCU head,
Is
you would
they-
have
yeah.
seen in Black
Thunderbolts?
Widow,
Yeah, yeah.
and is I think
And
in
is in
Thunderbolts
Thunderbolts.
coming up. How are you guys feeling about Thunderbolts? I kind of want to check it out.
I kind of want to. I literally had zero interest in it, but the marketing now has kind of caught me.
I probably will watch it when it's on Plus. It's not something I feel like I'll go and watch
how-
in the
yeah, I get
theaters.
that.
I'll watch it on Plus though.
I think it's a pivotal moment.
I think it'll.
I think the stakes are high. There's a lot riding on this movie.
That's what I was about to say. If
'cause
they can
Captain
nail this
America
one,
4
and then
flopped. So
then they have
this will be
Fantastic
a-
Four this summer, and they got a lot
Yeah.
riding on
I
that,
will
too.
probably. I might see that in theaters.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm excited
excited
for
for
that
that one.
Yeah.
Especially if it's. Is it set in the 60s? I just like that different approach.
We're not 100% sure, but it
I'm not
seems like
sure
it's on a
either.
different Earth in the 60s. We don't know.
So we'll see how like the promo and more of
But
a trailer we get.
you don't
for
need
that.
any
Yeah.
homework for this one. It's going to be a standalone-ish movie.
Which yes, please more standalone.
Yeah. So Fantastic Four would be a good one to give this animated series a treatment to.
Yeah,
They have a
I
lot of
think
deep
so.
lore.
Yes.
that they
For
could
sure.
dig from.
Yeah.
If we're still talking about the movies, is it Doomsday coming out?
Yeah, but that's not until
That's
next
far
year.
off. So
Is it?
that'll be the finale
Oh,
to this next batch of. like,
gotcha.
That's
Okay.
the next
I think it's like the
Endgame
Infinity War
bookend.
to the End Game.
Interesting.
Okay.
I think Secret Wars is the End Game.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I'm just saying it's like the
Oh
next.
my
the
gosh,
next
I know
bookend we're
nothing about this
shooting
next
for.
bit of MC.
They did a bunch of
movies.
cast announcements though for Doomsday. Did you see any of that or no? Spoilers
yes,
if you
I
don't.
did.
I know there's some people who don't want to see any of the cast, so spoiler warning. It's like one person I know.
Tommy,
And then
stop
it's Tommy.
listening.
It's Tommy.
Hit pause,
I'm calling you
or
out,
skip
Tommy.
forward.
And so skip forward. They announced the old X-Men though.
I have mixed feelings on that.
Crazy.
I saw a tweet that was like, "How many times are we gonna have to say goodbye to Patrick Stewart?"
I know.
Ian
It's like
McKellen?
these poor. Okay,
till they're
we
90.
finally have acquired like X-Men. Like just like give it a fresh reboot. Like all these
Well,
people have
I
aged
think
20
after
years
this
since the
they're
last
going
one.
to.
Yeah.
I think once they retackle the X-Men in their own series, they will recast them. I mean, not to spoil anything, this is a prediction, but I have a feeling these actors are not making it out of this movie alive.
I think, yeah, Doomsday and Secret Wars, the comic run it's based off of, is sort of meant to tidy up the multiverse.
Loose ends, multiverse stuff.
Like, stop that, be a new starting point.
I agree.
So,
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'm excited for it, though. That one, they caught me. The chairs, I was checking Instagram every 15, 20 minutes. Did they do another one? Okay, let's circle back to Spider-Man, though. Let's I don't want to say wrap up here.
What do y'all
but
want to see in a season 2?
It's a good question, yeah.
More Doc.
More Lonnie. Yeah, Ock's coming. We saw him.
I love his. He's so quirky. I love him.
Doc Ock, he's great. I loved the conversation with him and Norman when he was in jail. He's like, I fucking did this all and I get your technology anyways. Like,
Yeah, that was nuts.
That was nuts. And he was like, you're just a parasite. And like, I was like, oh, this is like some real good. The dialogue in this throughout the whole series, I thought was like really top notch.
I think it would be cool to see Spider-Man clone storyline, Ben Reilly, Scarlet Spider. We have that in the Spider-Verse 2 movie, more comedically played by
I was gonna say,
Andy
yeah.
Samberg, but it would be cool to see a more earnest take
Do you
on that.
think we'll see more Venom because this
Yeah.
part was
Oh, yeah.
snipped off?
Yeah.
Venom's
Okay.
coming. Spider-Man
Dude,
lore
who is going to
loves
be
Venom.
then? Do you think?
You know, and that's actually part of the fun of sometimes these Spider-Man things
Yeah.
is it could be a multitude of different people.
It's true.
I won't tell you who it is in the video game, but it's a big. It's a
Is
big.
it
Maybe I'll
thing.
spoil
different
that
than
for-
who it normally is?
Yes, it is. I could do a spoiler
Maybe I'll
warning and tell you guys
Flash
if you want.
Thompson?
No. You okay? Spoiler warning if you don't want to know about Spider-Man 2. It's Harry.
I had a feeling.
And so I think it's going that way
I
because
kinda
I
would
think
love that.
so. But Harry in the game is like dying, and so Norman finds this, and the goo heals him, and so that's why they're so reluctant to take it off of him ever. And he becomes like a sidekick for Spider-Man for a while when he can control it, and eventually takes over. And it's fucking awesome. And that's when I cried when their friendship and everything. It was so good. It was so good.
Oh, Alex.
But yeah, especially because it's in Oscorp, I could definitely see it actually even
Yeah.
being Norman. I kind of weirdly see a Norman Venom storyline coming, and maybe that's what makes him go a little crazy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
I heard it squelching when Norman was checking out the
Oh, I missed that.
it's the subtitles. I heard squelching.
Oh, I don't think I had subtitles on.
I wouldn't have heard it myself. Yeah. I think it literally
Squelch
says
is very
squelching.
only subtitles word, like blows raspberry. No one
Yeah.
says that.
Yeah. And when he was checking out the portal, I thought the portal scene, the ending was beautiful. What I was
Yeah.
going to do instead of season 2, what was your favorite moment from this season? And then we can do closing thoughts after this.
Probably the Daredevil fight.
It was so good because it was. I don't want to say low budget, but it was just simple. It was the two of them fighting and talking and sharing ideologies, and it was well choreographed. Great scene.
Yeah.
Can't argue it as a favorite at all.
I don't know if it's a favorite scene, but like I said, I just really liked the parallel of the Spider-Man Tombstone storyline. And then like
Yeah, that's a moment. I
him
think.
like joining the gang and then just him changing his views on the gang. Like just because
In real
like
time. Yeah.
yeah, it was just like heartbreaking, but then at the same time you're like, you don't understand where he's coming from. You didn't grow up in an area like that. You don't understand that kind of crime. Like he's just trying to protect his neighbor. Like I don't know. I just really like the
Katniss.
parallels. Yeah, and like him and Spider-Man at the core both just care about the people they love and want to protect them.
Yeah.
But they're doing it in different ways. So I always really like when it's more of a focus of Spider-Man and all the other characters. So I really enjoyed that perspective.
I think what they nailed is Lonnie and Peter are lab partners. They start off, and for all intents and purposes, their stories veer from there completely after their lab partnerness, and they come together at the end to fight the Scorpion. And I think that's a
I
really
liked that
cool
a lot.
intersection, and it was fun watching them do that together.
And you see
And-
how Tombstone gets his powers.
And we see how Tombstone's gonna become. I think he's like rock solid stone or whatever, but like I think he's bulletproof. He becomes pretty like indestructible. And he runs a gang, the 110th Street gang.
As a teenager.
Yeah. I mean, I do think he was he was almost graduated, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Oh, fair.
Doesn't have his driver's license yet.
No, he was driving at the end though. Oh, that doesn't mean he has his license.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that means nothing.
So, I think my favorite moment, and it's probably cheesy, but it was the end fight scene with Strange, Spider-Man, and Venom, and going to the past, because I felt like that was such a choppy introduction that I was like, wow, they really want to spend no time on like it lingered with me after how weird the origin of him getting his powers and everything was. Just Strange shows up and fights this weird I don't know what it was at the time, but I didn't is fighting Venom, and but putting it all together in the context of it, and I just thought it was an awesome fight, and I loved Norman being like, we're gonna go to space with all 4 of your things, and opening the hole against everyone's better judgments.
Classic.
The first real, not the first, but like a big turn of Norman being evil, thinking he knows best. So it was a good culmination of like all these characters really embodying these characters, I feel like.
All right. On a scale of 5 stars,
Yeah, let's do it.
what do you rate it? Or
We'll do
incorporate any
closing
final
thoughts, sort of. Well, yeah, final thoughts, and then you can give it a rating. I can start if we'd like, but I was just rambling. So if we want to give the listener a break,
I can start. This is tough. I would give this. I know I've been praising it. I think I would give it like a 3.5. I think this is a solid show. It's a well executed show. The CGI thing isn't necessarily for me. They obviously don't have the budget that, Into the Spider-Verse has, but the art style is fantastic. It's well written. It's just a nice little dip into the Marvel universe pool that you don't have to know that doesn't come with baggage from the MCU. I think it would be great for new fans. If you're not into the genre, it might be a tough sell, which is why I'm sort of putting it in here. It's a fun watch. I don't know that I can recommend it to everybody, but I really did enjoy the ride.
yeah. Courtney, you want to go, or you want me to?
I'll go.
Okay.
Because I rank every episode, I would say probably, so my average, some of it ended up being pretty high. My average probably would be a 4, and some background, never have watched a full Spider-Man series, like of anything. I don't have a huge knowledge of Spider-Man just from the live actions that we grew up with. But I really ended up enjoying this. I want to say the first couple episodes I ranked probably lower, but it did pick up by like the second half of 2 or something like that.
I agree. It picked up fast.
Yeah. And I feel like it contributes to just the side characters, everyone else's character story.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I would probably give it lower because some parts of the animation really took me out. But as someone who doesn't have a lot of Spider-Man lore, I ended up really enjoying this. So if you aren't knowledgeable on Spider-Man, I would say you still would really enjoy this.
It's a fun introduction.
It's good.
It
I
is,
agree.
yes.
Yeah, I think it really is. I came in with low expectations. I don't like when people call things woke and annoying. So I was turned off. I won't lie.
Was it woke?
Was it woke? Hell
not
yeah.
annoying.
But all
But
of
not
it, not annoying.
They
it
didn't
was
shove
woke
it
all
in
the
your
best
face.
ways.
Yeah.
No, yeah. And so what I think was really magnificent about this series, you both kind of have touched on, it serves not only just Peter Parker and Spider-Man's character really well, but his whole world and everything he deals with and everyone he deals with and things he touches and the impact of his presence in New York City. I've really come to appreciate the whole mythology of Spider-Man recently. A lot of it came from the video games, rewatching these movies, and everything. And then this as well. I had a rating coming in here, and I'm not going to let you two sway me on it. I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 5. Besides the animation to me is the only thing that this is lacking.
Yeah.
I think this has a beautiful story. I think this has all the superhero moments you want. I think it has all the non-superhero story moments you want. I think it touches on emotional things, friendship. It touches on Spider-Man's world while keeping it fresh. We did not need another Spider-Man series, and yet this found a really great spot to fit in.
Which is why I wasn't gonna watch it, because I was like, there's so much Spider-Man media.
So much, but I hate
But give it a chance.
like dick riding almost, but I like am starting to get more and more like why Spider-Man is so many people's all-time favorite superhero. I just think
why. Yeah.
it's so easy to understand. He's so
people's
relatable.
hero.
He's the people's hero, man, and he just wants to help.
I would say.
Oh, we didn't even talk about it. But Norman Osborn's twist on the saying, "With great power comes great respect." Another like jaw-dropping moment. I love this. Everyone knows that line. Everyone knows that line, even if you don't like Spider-Man. And so to see that twist on it, and like this is his mentor, and it's almost like Spider-Man's going to be learning what not to do and be like through his mentor. Beautiful. I love things like that. A twist on a classic story while keeping it true.
I know I said 3.5, but I would watch this series. I'm not going to bump it up. I'm just saying, relatively. I would watch this series again before I watched Tom Holland's Spider-Man 3.
I think I
agree.
would too.
I agree.
I fucking
Same.
hated that. I mean, I enjoyed it. I
He
got emotional
enjoyed
when
it in the
Hot
moment.
Aunt May died.
Yeah.
But it was a bad movie.
He felt like the Peter down after. He felt like it was a cheap trick.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree. Actually, I would watch this again. I wholeheartedly. I think if they stay on track, X-Men '97, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, if they do more things like this, Marvel Animation, take my money. I'm here for it.
Right. Come on. This is what we want.
This is what we want right now.
Yeah. We don't want more well, I don't want more multiverse live actions.
If I have to hear the blip one more time, fucking move on.
Do we have a little bit of news we want to wrap up with?
Yeah, let's start with some relevant stuff. Spider-Man 4, the title has been announced. The title is Brand New Day. I think the director attached to it is Destin Daniel Cretton, who directed Shang-Chi.
Yes.
But yeah, I think maybe Marvel and Sony were working through rights after what happened, or after Spider-Man 3, obviously, because it was sort of up in the air. But Tom Holland's returning. Last we left Tom Holland, the world forgot who he was.
I think this is an interesting attempt for them to give us that Spider-Man balancing like a job, rent, his responsibilities that we haven't
really
had to see Tom
Dark
Holland do.
era for him.
Hopefully,
in
I
the
don't
comics?
know. I hope so. I have no idea what it. I don't know the comic book story, unfortunately, of Brand New Day. I did see a casting announcement. I'm hoping this is real because I've given fake casting announcements before. But apparently, Sadie Sink is going to be in it from Stranger Things.
Okay.
Interesting. I don't know who she's going to play.
Who could she play?
Well,
Who
we
does
have
she have
MJ.
the perfect hair?
We have an
yeah.
MJ.
Okay.
This-
We'll see it.
No.
That's fair.
But this was what everyone, the whole internet's like, you're going to cast one of the most famous redheads on the planet.
Yeah.
And she's
then make
not
her
MJ?
Yeah.
I don't know. She could be Gwen Stacy, but that'd be kind of
I
wild.
was gonna say that'd be kind of wild. I was gonna say that.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Interesting. Finesse, yeah,
You
maybe
know
she
that
plays
famous
Finesse now.
Spider-Man character.
Dude, when
Finesse that
Daredevil
we
goes,
all know.
thanks, Finesse. I was like, who the fuck is Finesse? Thought it was going to be like Elektra.
Oh my god, I would have loved that. Stop.
Yeah, that would have been way better. Okay, that's your, you have any other news? I have a fun one.
Another bit of Spider-Man news. They finally announced the release, or Into the Spider-Verse 3 is slated
Yeah,
for release in 2027.
just on time.
Just a mere 4 years after or 3 years after they initially planned to do so.
After the initial plans, just on time.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Just on time.
I have no comment. Is
Me
what I'm going to
neither.
say about that.
I'm excited.
I
wanna
will
see
be
that.
excited when I see a trailer. I'm not excited yet.
Fair.
We have no hope right now.
Okay, Evan's gonna love this piece of news because it goes back to his favorite segment of all time. All that Zaz. David Zaslav's pay package for 2024 was $51.9 million, which is a 32% increase since 2022. Now, does this
Evan
man
That's more than the
deserve
CW was ever raking in. They were
Evan looks
losing
so
money.
stressed right now.
Does this man deserve a raise, period? Let alone that big?
I guess in the way that he was probably brought in to bulldoze. He was brought in to be Doge for Warner Brothers and just
Oh,
cut
God.
relentlessly. So I don't think it's
Not
a good
you
thing.
defending
obviously.
him. This
No,
segment
I think
I'm
it's a terrible
changing to
thing.
"Eat the Rich" is what I'm actually calling
the
it now.
rich.
That's obscene.
Yeah.
Someone, the very first comment says, "I wish I got a pay raise every time I produced aggressively average results."
Yeah, Warner Bros. I guess they won the Oscar for Dune 2, an Oscar for Dune 2.
Yeah. That was all the news I had, though. Do you have any other news? So
Thought I had something related to
Sydney
that,
Sweeney is gonna be attached to a Gundam movie. Okay. That has to be fake news, right? Come on.
She
I
did
saw it
so
multiple
well in
times,
Madam
though.
Web.
Madam Web is kind of
That's
a
what
fun
she's
movie.
known for now.
I never watched it.
I haven't
It's
watched
a
it yet
fun
either. I
B
need to.
movie. I'd probably watch that before I watch Spider-Man 3.
Wow, Evan, get the fuck out.
It's a B movie.
You need to rewatch
It's fun.
Spider-Man
It's a fun
3. So,
bad movie.
I
No,
think,
I've watched it plenty.
there is a place for bad movies in our society. We used to actually still go to the theater and watch bad movies. And we just don't do that. And people are like reviled by bad movies now. But we used to enjoy them.
You gotta have bad movies. That's what makes
gotta have
like
a bad
kind of
movie every
cult
once in a while.
classics and stuff. I don't know if Madam
Yeah.
Web's a cult classic, but
It's pretty
Evan
fun.
thinks it is. Evan thinks it is. Evan, let's
outta
not
here.
get him started on it. Yeah, that's all I got.
I don't know.
news-wise.
Okay, it's not. It's rumors, casting rumors, or
Oh.
probably fan castings at that. But I've seen murmurs on Twitter of Jesse Plemons being considered for Beast for whatever future X-Men.
Oh,
a
well,
potential
spoilers
future
again.
X-Men
Yeah,
role.
but Kelsey Grammer's reprising his role in Doomsday.
he's so old. He's like 80, isn't he?
Kelsey Grammer.
Guys,
Or Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. Those dudes are ancient.
oh god,
No.
yeah, they're like what, 92? Let the
Literally
men
till they're
retire.
90. That's the joke.
And
From
Ian
Deadpool.
McKellen, Sir Ian McKellen, I
Sir
think,
Ian
Yes,
McKellen,
both,
excuse me.
I
Yeah,
think
you're
are-
right.
Oh
you're
no,
right.
yes.
who famously is quoted being like super depressed about having to act on green screen when he returned
It's
for the
gonna go
Hobbit.
do a Marvel movie. Yeah, he broke
And
down
Which
on
is
the set.
all
and said,
green
And
screen.
he said, "This is not acting." Famously, it was his line.
Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of love that for him.
Yeah,
Now,
it's
Courtney,
because
the
none of the
first
hobbits
time
were
you-
there either. He was literally alone in a room with a green
that's
screen.
True. Courtney, the first time you came on the podcast, we speculated on potential X-Men castings, and here we are a couple years later.
Yeah, now we're talking.
And it's still up in the air. Who could be filling these roles?
I already told you
God.
who I want as Wolverine.
Yeah,
Yeah, it hasn't changed. Is it?
No,
was
still
it,
Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe is a good
okay.
one.
We love a short, hairy man.
Well,
Yeah.
it would be just another good series for him. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. Like as a franchise actor, it's been enough time for him to he could attach to a new franchise.
I
if
agree.
that makes sense.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would want to do that though, because he kind
Hey,
of takes quirky
dude,
projects now.
They literally have Patrick
Weird
Stewart
Al.
and Ian McKellen. That Marvel bag must be unmatched. I mean, they pulled Hugh Jackman out of retirement. Like they pulled Hugh Jackman out of a
6
perfect
times.
death. Like
Yeah.
his on-screen goodbye was
I have
perfect,
mixed
and they were like,
feelings about that
they
movie as
said,
well.
"Cha-ching!"
Deadpool
and he
versus
said, "Well, I
Wolverine?
guess one more time."
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I will just take the enjoyment. I also love Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, so you could put him on screen, and I'm probably going to enjoy it
for
no matter
sure.
what.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool shtick wears on me.
Yeah,
like
I
diminishing
feel like that
returns.
too.
I actually
Yeah,
feel
I
like this
agree
is
that
the
as
movie
well.
that focused the least on his shtick, though, honestly, and I thought that was kind of refreshing. It's still there. Don't get me wrong.
Still- yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
missing, but it is not like the focus of the movie like the other two.
Let me ask you this. So if we're doing fan casting, because from the last time we talked, Evan is a Cyclops stan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have like anyone you'd want to play him?
That is
That
a
one-
good question.
I
I haven't thought
know.
about that, but yeah. Let me
Give me oh my god, I can't think of his Jeremy. Give me Lip. I can't think of his name. Why can't I think of his real name? I'm so bad at fan casting. I just
I
thought
am
of the first
too.
name that popped into my head. Any big name actor I could think of, they don't have
any
or
big
any-
name actor. You know, okay, I was about to say one actor for this role, but now that I think about it, he could be pretty compelling as a Professor X.
Oh,
Jeremy Strong from Succession. If you've ever heard him talk about acting or quoting the shit he's reading, it's so funny because he's a very
Yeah.
cerebral
Yep.
guy.
Yes.
People find it pretentious.
I could totally
but
see
I
him
think it's
do a
fast.
Professor
Yeah.
X. He would love
Would
to
he
go
do
bald
that?
for a
He would
role.
hate that shit. He would hate that kind of role.
No, but Professor X is like philosophical enough to attract someone like that. I feel like, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? It's not like they're like, yeah, you're gonna be Iron Man. Like you're
That's
gonna, you
true.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But Cyclops, I don't know. That's tough.
Cyclops
Sadie
is
Sink
a
could
tough
be a
one.
great Jean Grey if they're doing
Dude, this is
like
what
a
I'm saying is
young-
I don't know
That's
what.
yes.
That'd be crazy if she was playing Jean Grey in a Spider-Man movie. It's not like they have a
She's
huge
not, but-
connection.
Yeah.
But like, it's crazy that they're gonna use like the world's most famous redhead at the moment and maybe dye her hair blonde. I don't know. The other prediction is that she's gonna, if it is a multiversal movie, which we all don't want, that she could play like Tobey Maguire and MJ's daughter, who is a Spider Girl in the future. Her name is Mayday.
That would feel kind of annoying to me.
You know how I feel about these time
Right?
jumps.
Yeah, it's just like, get the movie
We'd see
right
Toby
before
be
we
like,
go
"Go
for
have
the high
fun."
concept fucking comic book storylines.
That is my official prediction, though, is she is going to play Mayday Parker, is Spider Girl's name.
All right, I don't have a good Cyclops.
That's okay.
I know
Courtney,
that
do
was
you have
kind
one?
of hard.
It's James Marsden.
No,
He's
honestly,
back,
I
too.
actually I really liked him if he was like 30 years
I got
younger
it. I got
again.
it. Glenn Powell.
Oh,
There you go.
It's not a bad one.
He's maybe a little old.
It just depends on the age range they're going for. Yeah.
I know, you're right. Like, are we going 30? Are we going
This is
early
the problem
20?
is with the X-Men is we
you guys see-
know them throughout their whole age.
Right.
Yeah. Did you guys see Glenn Powell is launching a condiments brand with Walmart
What?
called
No.
Smash Kitchen? So you can
What?
get Glenn Powell's tasty sauces.
Is this a joke? Is this a bit you just did
Oh
to
my
make that
God.
joke?
No.
Is
I
that
mean,
like
it's
a
a real bit
tagline?
of
Why'd you
views.
say it like that?
Oh my God.
Glenn Powell's got a sauce line.
Jesus. Guys,
For real. It's
This is a
in
bit. I
collaboration
think
with
you're
Walmart.
lying. I don't believe you.
heads up, my computer might die soon.
We're wrapping up here.
We're
Well, this is
wrapping up.
perfect. This is a perfect segue for us to wrap
I'm on
up.
4%. So
Courtney, thank you
What?
so much for
you're
coming here.
welcome. Thank
This
you
was
for
such a
having
blast.
me
Thank
for
you
the
for
fourth
watching
time.
for the fourth time. Thank you for watching this show that you had little to no interest in.
Go
I'm
watch
glad,
it. It's so good.
Yeah, if you made it this far, you should really go watch it. It's really fun. It's super woke, but not annoying. And yeah, Courtney, it's always a pleasure to have you. Like I said, we picked you as a guest before we even picked the topic, so that's a high compliment.
I was gonna. Well, thank you. I really enjoy you guys and your podcast and what you're doing. It's spreading awareness to good animation, maybe even bad. You know. So
And the
but
bad.
As someone who like doesn't know a lot about Spider-Man, there are points I didn't realize it was woke.
That's-
So like
yeah.
I didn't realize like Tombstone wasn't always traditionally a black
yeah.
character.
No,
like
yeah.
I didn't know that. So it's like if you don't really know the background, you'll enjoy it. So,
You'll
yeah.
love it. If you don't know the background, it's not even woke at all. No, it's a very good. It's good to have you back. It's always nice to see you.
You too.
Evan, do I wrap up or do you wrap up? I don't even know. Get
you
your
wrap up, bro.
sauces out of here, please.
It's a real thing.
Okay, I'm glad it's not a bit.
You were lying.
Yeah.
I'm
Smash
Did
glad
you
it's
say
not
Smash
just a bit.
Kitchen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Walmart collab brand. Or
Of course it's
he
from
sells
Walmart.
it at Walmart, yeah.
Okay.
So if you ever want to taste a Glenn Powell's
Oh, wait.
Stop it.
sauce,
Stop
it's in
it.
stores. It's on
Okay.
shelves now.
I'm ripping it. I'm okay. If you
Cut 'em off.
enjoyed this podcast, we have a ton more in our backlog on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube as well. Make sure you go check them out. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at 2dudeswatchcartoons and TikTok if it doesn't get banned. Who knows? And make sure you rate and review on Apple. It helps out. And thank you for being here as always.
Yeah, that'll do it for this episode of Two Dudes Watch Cartoons. We will catch you next time.
Two dudes watch cartoons. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Whoa.